Hello YouTube world. Today, we're gonna tell a story about my killer clown experience. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for watching. This story takes place around mid-2016, right in the heat of the whole killer clown trend. I don't know if trend is the right word there. A lot of people have stories from this time, and mine isn't as scary as others I have read, but I felt like sharing nonetheless. This was around fall break of 2016. My cousin and I were both in middle school, me in 8th, him in 7th, and I was staying over at his house one night during fall break. There were quite a few people in the house that night. Me, my cousin, his 10-year-old brother, his 3-year-old sister, 3-month-old baby brother, his dad, and his stepmom. Let me try and explain the layout of the house and yard. They lived in a rather large double-wide trailer that they bought and had out on a flattened part of a hill. Their driveway is a rather steep gravel slope that connected to the road at the bottom of the hill. Behind the house up the hill was nothing but woods. The nearest house was just slightly down the hill to the left, closer to the road. That was our grandparents' house. As I said, my cousin and I were the only ones still awake. We were watching TV, probably some shitty sitcom on Nick at Night or something. We kept hearing noises in the woods behind the house. We could see into the woods from the window in the living room where we were sitting, but we didn't pay much attention to it, since it was kind of windy. Plus, my uncle had lots of motion lights outside the house. In the back, facing the woods, the side door, close to the driveway on the opposite side of the house, and on the slightly elevated porch that overlooked the front yard and the road. So, we weren't too worried about anyone or anything actually being outside, since anything out there would have triggered the lights. We had heard lots of stories and watched lots of YouTube videos about the whole killer clown thing, and to be honest, I didn't think it was real. I thought it was just prank videos. Something made up just to get clickbait views. Plus, we live in a small nothing town in northeast Tennessee, where everyone and their dog owned some sort of firearm. That included my uncle, a retired veteran. So we were never afraid of anyone dressing up as a clown, trying to jump out for a quick scare and a funny video reaction. So we were sitting on the couch watching the TV show, the only light being the TV and the dim light above the kitchen sink that was only a few feet behind the couch. Suddenly, the back motion detector light came on. We did notice but didn't think anything of it. The lights were set on 10-minute timers. If it detected one movement, it would stay on and would turn off after 10 minutes if no other movement was detected. After 10 minutes, they went back off, so we figured it was just an animal, which wasn't uncommon. After about 20 minutes, I went to the bathroom down the hall. I did my business and washed my hands when I came back out the motion light on the side of the house. By the side door that entered into the laundry room came on and shone through the thin blinds that were on the door. I swore I heard what sounded like footsteps on the gravel outside. Then the doorknob started rattling quickly, like someone was trying to open it. I ran into the living room and got back in my spot on the couch. Luckily, the blinds were shut, so whatever it was didn't see me. I knew my cousin heard the same thing I did because he was already up and halfway into his dad's room to wake him up. At that point, I saw the light from the front porch come on, so I got up to look out the window that looked out to the porch. By this point, my uncle had his pistol and flashlight and was out on the front porch looking for who or whatever it was. My cousin and I were behind him on the porch watching. He looked around with the flashlight when he saw it. There, at the bottom of the hill, in the ditch by the road, was a clown. It was a crappy costume, one from probably Walmart or Spirit Halloween. It just looked at us and waved. My uncle fired a warning shot, and the clown ran across the road and into the woods. My cousin and I didn't sleep any more that night. My uncle stayed out on the porch for a few more hours to make sure no one came back. I remember him telling us not long after the shot was fired, he heard what sounded like an ATV starting up and driving away. Troublesome kids were always, and still are, an issue in that area. There are houses somewhat close to each other, but far enough that you couldn't see them. The only house we could see was our grandparents' house. I don't doubt it was just a high school kid playing a prank, just trying to scare whoever it was in the house. Years later, after reading some more experiences with these clowns, of people's lives actually being threatened, it still scares me to think of what he would have tried to do if he was able to get in the house.